But these are male clients that are coming to me and say, I have this tension and I think it's stress, but I don't know who to talk to about it. And I go look at the research and I'm like, there's a correlation between stress and severe muscle spasms.
Yes, we carry our emotions in our bodies.
100%. The female to male ratio is very high, so we have more females than males. Mainly because males don't feel like they need to take care of their bodies. They jump onto Google and it's, doctor, I think I have a tumor growing in my shoulder.
Dying of cancer.
And it's so the overstimulation now plays on the anxiety and fear. And what could be a simple problem like a muscle tension in the shoulder now is spread throughout the entire body because they're thinking as if they have cancer.
Hi guys, welcome back to Becoming by Nqobileh. I happen to be Nqobileh, and today I have the world-renowned Instagram and TikTok famous Dr. Caleb Nair.
Thank you. World-renowned meaning Durban.
See, ye of little faith.
True.
Ye of little faith.
True.
Come on now.
True. We're getting there.
So Dr. Caleb Nair is a good friend of mine, and he's a chiropractor. So I'm super excited to have him today. And today is actually his 2nd year anniversary in private practice. This is a big boss here in Mhlanga, a big Lani of Mhlanga. How are you feeling? Congratulations, my friend.
Thanks.
Super excited for you. How's the journey been, man? 2 years of private practice. That's crazy.
Man. 2 years seems like it's short, right?
Yeah.
But it
doesn't seem like it's short, it's long.
So when you first start the practice, everyone tells you, you know this, everyone tells you, no, you gotta wait until like your 5th year into practice to actually see the fruits of what's going on. And then when you sit back and then, like with introductions like this and people tell you, oh, by the way, do you know you've done this? I'm like, oh, it's only 2 years. I'm like, it feels like it's been a journey, but it's scary, man. Yeah. It's scary. You know the story.
Yeah. Oh, but you've been doing so great.
No, thank you.
Like, you've been doing so great. Caleb and I have a video that trended on Instagram that does not capture
I know
my proudest moments, but it's okay. I think we should post the link of the video somewhere there, or like a small clip of the video somewhere there, just a small entertainment. So Caleb is a chiropractor, right? And I know that not a lot of people may know what that is or what does a chiropractor do. So please just enlighten us a little bit on what it is, because I'm just going to say you're a bone doctor.
Right. And to an extent that's true. So chiro actually means to be done by hand, and practor means obviously practitioner. So it basically specializes in treating joints, which is bone, but using your hand. So no medication, manual therapy. Your joints were made to move, so we just get it into movement. In between that movement, you get a little popping noise, and the hypo relief, which is basically what gives you that relief and that mobility. So in essence, that's what it is. Yeah, that's what it is.
Nice. So the main reason why I'm super excited to have Caleb here today, as he's explained what he does, is because one of the core aspects, one of the core themes for my channel this year is to sort of see how does mental health echo in all of our areas of functioning, be it our physical health, our emotional health, our spiritual health, and that's why I'm getting all of these different guests to sort of help you guys understand or help educate me and everyone out there on how our mental health actually really does affect us holistically. Right. So I know that you and I always have conversations on the relationship between mental health and chiropractic.
Yeah.
Did I say that correctly?
Yeah, that's the one.
So I think I just want to let people in a little bit on like how do our professions sort of meet? Where do our professions meet each other in treating the holistic person?
Right.
Yeah.
So like you've said, the mind is kind of the holistic factor in everything. We can take the first thing, for example, our core element that we treat is pain.
Yeah.
You can have internal pain, emotional pain, etc. But a lot of that stuff is expressed externally as well.
100%.
So a very, very vague example is someone that is very confident. Someone who's confident is always sitting upright. He knows he's the boss, He knows he's that person. and you wouldn't say he has any muscular issues.
Yeah.
However, someone going through something who's depressed,
You can see.
you see
like their
your
body
outward
communicates it.
100%. So it's expressed externally. So you kind of sit, kind of, things are not going so well, etc. But the mind itself, and the main factor is stress, anxiety, depression, has a physiological response to the muscle itself.
100%.
So we say, oh, we carry so much of tension in our shoulders, which is so true, because your muscles spasm up due to the
response of the pain.
Exactly.
That could be internal, that could be
100%.
emotional, and all of these other things.
And all of these things have a physiological response to your hormones as well. Your dopamine levels drop, your serotonin, your cortisol levels shoot up, your stress hormones shoot up. So there's so much integrated into body pain and mental health.
100%. Like it's reminding me of something that we learned during my neuropsychology block, and we're speaking about how the body literally records painful experiences. So like traumatic and painful experiences are recorded in our brains as memories. They're recorded in our minds as feelings, and they're also recorded in our bodies as well. Like if somebody, like if for example, if I've just been hijacked,
right,
and let's say maybe the person that hijacked me came from my left or whatever the case is, and then if somebody just sort of like bumps me on the left side, and I hadn't, like if it was something that I hadn't prepared for, whatever, that like the body will literally startle and move in a fight or flight response,
100%.
as if it was responding to the situation of threat at that time. So yeah, like it's something very important. I think there's also a book written about it. It's called The Body Remembers, or The Body Recalls.
Yeah.
So it's actually it's such an intricate but like such a important conversation to have of how our minds will literally record every single thing that we've been through, and if you don't sort of like respond to those recorded messages, they sort of like in a way start affecting you on the long run. They start affecting, like how you said, like they start affecting your posture,
100%.
start affecting your confidence, they start affecting other areas of your life and so forth.
I like what you say about the mind recording things, because when I did my thesis on football injuries, one of the main contributors to injuries was a previous injury. So the mind, the fear of knowing that, hey, if I step my left foot into the field, I'm going to twist it again. And so you tend to compensate by pushing it onto the right
foot a bit more.
And so it goes, I mean, that's just a physical injury. Imagine the psychological.
That's like quite psychological as well. And I know this when I started looking at sports psychology, that the way that you treat somebody who's had a previous injury, like the very same thing that you're saying, and the way that you treat somebody who hasn't had a previous injury, their level of motivation, the level of risk, the way in which they play, all of those
performance
things get affected.
Is
100%. That the whole performance of the player gets affected just based on their previous injuries. So it's actually quite interesting.
But also, with the recording of the mind, there's also I don't know. Maybe you would know much better. But when it comes to overthinking and overstimulation, so the biggest problem we face in practice when it comes to pain-related issues is very quickly they jump onto Google and it's, doctor, I think I have a tumor growing in my shoulder.
Dying of cancer.
And it's so the overstimulation now plays on the anxiety and fear. And what could be a simple problem like a muscle tension in the shoulder now is spread throughout the entire body because they're thinking as if they have cancer. Is that something common?
100%. Look, 100%. I think I've had various cases like that as well, and that's what I always say. One of my rules in my practice, come for me, HBCC, I'm ready for you. I don't like telling people their diagnoses. Right. And I do that very like deliberately. So like instead of telling someone that they have PTSD, I'll say you have. I'm trying to think of something that I'd say to someone who has PTSD. I'll probably say you have recall stress, like something light like that. Because then what people end up doing is that they end up going on Googling the symptoms of the diagnosis that you've given them, and then they end up becoming that diagnosis.
Even
And then
though that's not their...
even if it was just traits of PTSD.
Right.
And then they go around, and you sort of like go around introducing yourself, hi, my name is Nqobile and I have PTSD. And you end up like, it ends up affecting the way in which you show up in your life, because you always anchor it or like hide under the umbrella of, hi, my name is Nqobile and I have PTSD. Right?
So you kind of, you make your diagnosis your identity almost in a way.
Yes, you sort of like you become one with your diagnosis.
And because Google says there's no fix for it, you chronically live in this state of, I have PTSD, I have to live with it. So you see, that's what I'm saying. So when it comes to people in the practice as well, they always say, how long do you think this condition is going to last? And I say to them, I was like, you're fine, even though it's a chronic, the same thing you do.
You've told me I'm fine.
I'm sorry.
You told me I'm fine, so you're messing with my head.
No, but immediately when the session was over, you said, oh wow, my headache is gone.
Yes.
And to an extent, it will go away, but the power of the mind is extraordinary, because
we can't even explain it. Like, it's something that I don't even think research has come close to explaining the power and the impact of the relationship between the mind, the body, and the soul.
100%.
Our mind, our physical responses, and I think that's why I like how our jobs like sort of cross pollinate, because what I would, and I've been seeing you for the past couple of months for my chronic headaches, and one part of, let's say, if I go to a psychologist about it, it could be diagnosed as stress or as depression or as whatever the case is. But then I come see you for it, and you can diagnose it as like muscle spasm or whatever the case is. So that's one of the things that I appreciate the most about us working.
The bridge between the two fields.
Quick question: like, what would you say? What would you say is a person who comes to see you look like? What does a person who comes to see you look like? So like what's the not like the qualifying criteria per se. It's like, for instance, for me, somebody who's most likely to come see me, someone who's struggling with mental health conditions.
Right.
So like, how do I know if I can go see a chiropractor, or like, what are some of the things that I'd have to identify within myself? Like, okay, this is something that's most likely to be treated by a chiropractor instead of a GP, or instead of a physiotherapist, and so forth.
So I like the way you phrase the question. So there's no criteria per se as to, yes, you should see a chiropractor or not. Reason being is because every field will kind of shove their specialty down your throat. So if you see a physio, they'll tell you it's muscular pain. If you see a chiropractor, they'll tell you it's your joints are out of line. If you see a GP, they'll tell you it's stress, take a pill, or a psychologist, etc. So
stay in therapy.
So exactly. So every field will kind of give you their perception of what they think is wrong with you. I think, and I really hope that's why when people come to see me, it's holistic. It's holistic. Yeah. So there's no one factor that's to say 100%. You should only see a chiropractor for this. Yeah. There's a lot that chiropractors and other professions can do. Yeah. It's just, I think it comes down to how you as a practitioner treat your patients. Yeah. So if you treat them as a physio only or as a psychologist only, then it's so limited. Yeah.
And that's what you're going to attract.
Exactly.
Well, like
exactly.
That limited way of.
But I mean, you have your fair share: muscular pain, joint pain, sports injuries. But of recent, and I never believed this, stress. In fact, in research right now, is considered an injury to the body. So we would have patients come in month end, and where our practice is, we're always surrounded by business owners, etc. And they would come to me and say, Caleb, these shoulders are really killing me. So I said, okay, what's your gym? And the first thing, it's so naive of us. Oh, what's your gym routine like? No, I don't go to gym. Oh, are you sitting long hours behind the desk? Yeah. No. But we assess the muscle. We assess the muscle as if it's like an injury. Yes. And I said, so what have you been doing? Caleb, nothing. I've just been paying bills, paying my staff members, etc.
Like, aha.
And then they tell me it's stress. And I said, come on, man. Like, we all have stress, but it's not a thing. And these are
Yeah,
patients
high-functioning people.
coming to me. So
Yeah.
we always say like, oh, stress is only for females, or
Yeah.
it's in your head, etc.
Yeah.
We've all been through the
go through
stigmas,
it, so 100%.
But these are male clients that are coming to
Yeah.
me and say, I have this tension and I think it's stress, but I don't know who to talk to about it. And I go look at the research and I'm like, there's a correlation between stress and severe muscle spasms.
Yes, we carry our emotions in our bodies.
100%, man.
We carry our emotions,
100%.
and I think that's why whenever you crack my head, it almost immediately alleviates the anxiety that I'd be feeling that day, or it alleviates this. So it's a relationship at the end of the day. Like, it's a good relationship. It's an existing relationship.
100%.
We carry how we're feeling in our bodies.
Right.
Throughout, and it's like you said in the beginning, it's expressed through the headaches, it's expressed through the muscle spasms, it's expressed through the tension down your neck, tension on your shoulders, back pain, and all of those things.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think the more we speak about it, and the more you highlight these points, regardless of gender, race, etc. I think right now everyone goes through every emotion. That it's no emotion is given to a specific gender or race. So I don't know about you, but in our practice, we've had the female to male ratio is very high. So we have more females than males, mainly because males don't feel like they need to take care of their bodies. Is it the same like with?
No, 100%.
With
100%.
these,
it's like when I asked you, what does a person who comes to see a chiropractor look like? It's because I was thinking of my profession, that in our side, it's usually like a female, a particular gender, a particular age range. I mean, it's almost like it's been so normalized in society that females are the ones who are going to seek out help about their health first. And then it almost comes across as if females are the ones that struggle with depression the most.
Right.
But I don't think that it's because females are the only ones that struggle with depression. It's just that research will record too many numbers of females, because they're the ones that are going to go out and seek those professions, other than males who struggle at home, like with nobody knowing and stuff like that. So the help-seeking behavior between males and females is very different. And I really hope that conversations such as this sort of change the narrative, and also just for people to understand the importance of holistic healing. So it's not everyone who's always going to be at a space where they're ready to see a psychologist, and that's okay, because it's a journey at the end of the day. So if you're not going to be able to see a psychologist, and you can tell that you have symptoms of stress or anxiety or whatever the case is, then go see Caleb. So let's also allow people, like teach people, to educate people that if you can't go to it directly, it's okay to go to the problem, like using a different route to like go around the problem.
I'm so glad you said that, because I think I've been doing your job in my room because it's a long session in our session, so it's about an hour, 45 minutes to an hour, and you're spending an hour with a person in a closed environment. I mean, you're getting very personal with their bodies, because they're exposed, they're fully exposed,
they're vulnerable.
They're very vulnerable. And so I'm a chatty person, so we talk in the session, and they start telling me problems, etc. But when they leave the room, they're like, I feel so much lighter. And yes, to an extent, maybe because I put 10 needles in your shoulder. Maybe that could be it.
Like, but the needles are this long. Like, I kid you not.
Askis. I'm sorry. But also, I think emotionally on the inside, they've been sharing. Taylor, I've been going through some stuff with my wife, and I think all of that stuff plays
put together
in muscle spasm, joint issue, and emotional stress. I think it's such a beautiful synergy amongst all of it. Yeah, it's beautiful.
100%. Anything you'd like to leave us with before, and also please share how do people get a hold of you, or where you're located, and how can people contact you, either on socials or other forms of communication? Sure.
So I'm quite easy to find on socials. On Instagram, it's at Dr. Caleb Nair, and then the company. Spell Nair? Nair.
Thank you.
Not Nair. Nair. And then the company's page is at Less Pain, More Living. I think there's an underscore somewhere there, but I'm pretty sure there's no
It's the
other less
only
pain,
Less
more
Pain,
living.
More Living.
And then we're based in Tuilala Drive in La Lucia, quite close to Umhlanga, here in Durban. We're all over socials: Instagram, Facebook, TikTok.
Yes. Please hop over to his Instagram page. Like,
you'll see more of you than me.
unfortunately.
And I think the one thing, if I could leave on this channel, is never ignore a symptom or an emotion.
Yeah.
I think
good.
everything plays a part in how productive you are,
That's good.
your performance, and the way you think, and it affects your work situation, your family situation, relationships, etc., etc. I mean, life is it's not made up of squares and blocks.
It's not linear, man.
It's not linear at all.
Linear.
So when your body is tired or when you're feeling a pain, it's a signal. When you're feeling like you're not productive or you're feeling stressed out, it's a signal.
A sign,
you know me, I burnt out quite a lot. So yeah, it's one of the things I would.
It happens to us as well. I think I like that last point. I mean, I think for you, a person like me also looks like someone who'd go see a chiropractor. Just like how a person like me also looks like somebody who'd go for therapy. You know? So we also have this thing of it only belongs to certain people.
Right.
So I absolutely love what you just left with us. Everything is a sign. Listen to your body.
Right.
Listen to the pain. It's there to tell you something. And if you're not gonna listen, it's gonna keep speaking and speaking and speaking, and then it's gonna come back as cancer. Thank you so much. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. Please check out Dr. Caleb Nair. Our practices are actually neighbors, by the way. So if you come see me, I'm going to direct you to him as well. All right. Take care, guys. Perfect. And we'll see you again in the next episode of Becoming by Nqobileh.
Amazing.
Great.